Hey guys, what's up? So we've got an old Epiphone we're going to look at today. Let's check this out. Alright, so let's take a look at this old Epiphone I got down here. I got Nathan with me today.
What's up?
How you doing, man?
Good.
Alright, so this is an old Epiphone. This is a made in Japan one. Nathan, let me ask you real quick. What year did Gibson buy Epiphone?
Okay, so in the 50s, Epiphone was a high-end guitar brand, and they were Gibson's main competitor, right?
Right.
So Gibson bought them in 1958, and they moved all their production into the same factory in Kalamazoo, Michigan, that all of the Gibson guitars were being made, and they all had counterpart models, you know. So the Gibson ES-330 had the Gibson or the Epiphone Casino. The 335, you know, had the Sheraton or whatever, and they kind of made the exact same guitars, just with different headstocks. You know, they had the same wood, made by the same people in the same factory at the same time, right?
Yeah, so every Gibson guitar, every great model, they had the Epiphone version of it.
Right. So, you know, essentially they're the exact same guitars with a different name on the headstock, right? Mm-hmm. So that was up until 1969. So in 1969, Epiphone became the import guitars that they're known as today.
And they moved everything to Japan.
Yep, so this is one of those.
What was the name of that factory over there?
I don't remember.
Was that
I wouldn't be able to pronounce it anyways. Matsumoto?
Somewhere in that
something
neighborhood.
like
you
that.
Guys know what we're saying.
So this model is the EA-250, which was introduced in 1972. And they made a similar model from 1970 to 1975. And later, after 75, this guitar would also be known as the ET-255, which was their version of the Riviera. So you could get the Epiphone Rivieras from the 60s, and they made an import version called the E2.
So this is a complete hollow body.
Yeah, so this one's completely hollow. No center block in it.
And that bridge is just a floating bridge.
A floating bridge, yep. And the pickups on it, these are basically humbuckers, dual coil pickups, and they have the staple pull pieces in there. I thought that they kind of looked like a mix between a humbucker and a staple coil P90.
Right.
Because the shape and the size is closer to like a P90, like a dog ear P90 or something.
Right.
But it has the staples on there.
You got the Epiphone pitchfork.
Yep. So in 1972 is when they added the pitchfork to this model here, and they changed the name to EA-250, and that went all the way up until 75. But there isn't
any way to really date what year this one was made. It's between 72 and 75.
Right. But here's the thing. They all came in what's called red burst finish. So this is a red burst finish. Only color you could get them in.
Okay.
Right? But in later years, before 1975,
right,
they also added a version with a trapeze tailpiece, and they also switched to gold or chrome pickup covers.
I'm wondering if people were complaining about the Bigsby style whammy bar here, and they wanted something more solid.
Yeah, it's possible.
Something
and you
more
know,
stable.
like in the 60s, Gibson and Epiphone both offered guitars that came with a Bigsby style tremolo, you know, or a stop tail or a trapeze. So I'm sure that they were kind of just following the same type of path, you know, where you could get a trapeze with it.
And this thing is a bolt-on neck. So there you go. There's the old steel adjustable neck.
Yep. And although the serial is posted on the neck plate there, kind of like a Strat would be, we do still have the light blue label on the inside of the body. Tells you the model number. It still says Kalamazoo, Michigan on it, but in small print underneath of that, it's printed made in Japan. So I kind of have a feeling that they're using like leftover labels on there because they don't have the serial number printed on the inside, just the model number. And you got your 3-ply neck binding on there, single-ply headstock binding. It has that shorter, squatty headstock instead
Those
of the...
are cool looking.
It's like the early 60s Epiphones, 61, 62, maybe 63. Right. They had the short headstocks on there.
Real thin nut spacing here. We should probably measure that, huh?
Yeah, this is typical of like the Japanese era.
Let me go get my ruler real quick, guys. Hold on. Okay, so I got my ruler on there. What are you thinking, Nathan?
This is a 1 9/16 nut width.
Narrow.
So that's whenever Gibson they switched, and Epiphone they switched to the narrow nut width. They switched from 1 11/16. They moved down 1/8 of an inch to 1 9/16.
What would you think the radius of these frets are? I know you're going to have to guess. Do you think it's a 7 1/4 or a 9 or?
I don't know, dude. I'd have to I would say it's probably like 9 1/2. That's pretty common.
Yeah, because Fender did the 7 1/4, and Gibson was always flatter. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to go with probably 9 1/2 inch radius.
Leave it in the comments if you guys happen to know. We all trying to learn stuff.
The neck is really small.
It is,
and it's kind of typical of that that era of the Japanese guitars. With the bolt-on neck.
Because that Mazimuto or Mazimuto, whatever that name of that factory in Japan, what was the other brand of guitars that they made?
They made Univox.
That's right.
Univox, yeah. So those are kind of similar to the Taiscos.
Right.
And they kind of have the weird hardware on them.
There's those guys that love these imported Japanese stuff. From
vintage
factory.
Japanese stuff, yeah.
So this is that.
Yeah, you got your standard 3-way toggle switch on there. 2 tones, 2 volumes. And, the body, it seems kind of smaller than the earlier Epiphone hollow bodies, like the Casinos and the Rivieras.
It is. It's small.
Sheratons and all that. It's a lot smaller. It's pretty light too, gotta say.
All right, Nathan. Well, you know what's up next. You got to play this thing for us. So let's plug it in and let's see what it sounds like.
All right. So here's the bridge pickup. So now we're in the middle position. You got both pickups going together.
Nathan, thanks for playing that thing for us, man.
Yeah, of course.
We'll talk to you guys later.